So warmest of blessings to you out there in YouTube land and wherever you are, wherever life is guiding you to be in this moment. It's an honor to be back. I've taken a little bit of time off of YouTube because I've had a lot of beautiful things going on in my life, and it's just kind of been all-consuming. So I'm back today to share a little wisdom that's kind of come through in a session yesterday with a client. I was working with a client, and she was saying, you know, she has a lot of stuff going on in her current relationship that's, of course, threaded back through to her relationship with her father, and she basically was saying, you know, it's so difficult to do the inner work. I'm so good at so many things, but doing the inner work and returning to it and remembering to do it is so difficult. And it's painful and it hurts. I said, well, you know, it is painful, but isn't it more painful going through like the on again, off again, the breakup, the throwing the ex out and bringing him back and going through all of that pain? Or what about the pain of him actually leaving and never coming back? How much pain is that? And she was like, yeah, that would be an immense amount of pain. I said, well, you know, the deeper you go, the more inner work that you're doing on yourself, the easier it is not just to be around for your lover to be around you, but it's also that much easier for you to be around yourself. It's not an easy path. No matter where we are, life is tough. I mean, I've been through 8 or 9 near deaths, motorcycle accidents, falling on my head, crashing cars into other people when I was younger. You know, the traumas of breakups. How many times have I broken up with somebody or somebody's broken up with me? And all of those, including so much pain, let alone losing a job, trying to get a job, losing all of your money, all of what you have, and then starting over and building. All of these things are trials and tribulations and challenges in life. And that is part of life. You know, we keep trying to run from all of these things in life that are just going to happen. We keep trying to run from the next thing that's going to be a problem. We keep trying to run from experiencing any pain. But the reality is, life is a roller coaster. Life is going to bring you some great highs and some intense bloody lows. It's unavoidable. There's no way to avoid it. So instead of running from it, why not open to it and embrace it? Why not say yes to life as it is rather than trying to manipulate life into the way that you want? Because really that's what we're all trying to do. We're all trying to manipulate it into a way of, I want what I want to get what I want, and I don't want what I don't want, so don't give that crap to me. I don't want the bad times. I don't want to even play with the bad times. I want the good times. So, how do we shift that place within us that goes, yes, today I say yes to life and whatever it brings. Yes to the pain, and yes to the pleasure. Why not? Why not say yes? Because when the pain is here, it's here anyway. I was going to talk about something else, but this place of acceptance, unconditional acceptance, full embrace of what is the key, really the key to having a steady, peaceful life. Little ripples, while the roller coaster of life continues. This is what the yogis are all teaching. One of the Eastern teachings is just let go of it all. The Vedanta teaching is it's all an illusion, so why not drop it and just let it all go? See it all as an illusion. And go into a cave or go into a monastery or go into an ashram and forget it all and just focus on what is the truth of truth, which is the self, the true self, the wholeness of all that is, God, yeah, and the God within us. That is great, but most of us are living a life in the world. If you're watching this YouTube video, you're obviously in the world. You have a computer, you have a phone, you have something to look at and watch this, which is meaning that you're likely not in a cave, likely not in an ashram, where it's not at least an integral reality form of an ashram. And you're here. So how do we integrate this teaching of dropping the desire, dropping all of this, whether it's an illusion or not? The tantrics would say it's just another form of consciousness, another form of God. So all of these things in life that are keeping us from really being present with self, seeing the truth in what is, how do we approach this illusion or these forms of God that actually are veils of consciousness that keep us from being fully conscious, the attachments to the result of getting the big job, making a lot of money, getting the partner, getting the husband, the wife, the children, etc. How do we still court these desires that we naturally are going to have in life if we're going to live in life, and then at the same time, how can we be okay if they don't come? This is a powerful teaching. Actually courting, living, moving with a desire, but letting go of the attachment of it ever arriving. Can you do that? Or can you consider even approaching that? Can you start moving into a relationship with somebody, and at the same time you're moving into the relationship, letting them go? As you're moving into a job, courting it, moving, working it, having the desire to build and grow in that job, and at the same time, letting it go. Raising your child, your children, and putting all of your love, all of your heart, all of your time, so much of your time, all of you parents putting in so much time with those children, and at the same time letting go of having to have that child be so perfect or so right, or being the perfect parent. Letting go of the attachments of the child being the perfect football player, the perfect student. Putting in what you can and then letting it go. Loving what is. Loving your child for where they are. Loving yourself for where you are. Can you do that? And if you can't, you're continuing to court being caught on this roller coaster ride, on this inevitable cycle of suffering. Joy, elation, holding on to the elation as it goes down. You're still trying to keep that roller coaster cart up on top, and it's already going down, and you're suffering and screaming, kicking all the way. No, I don't want to lose this job. No, I don't want my child to get a C. No, I want this relationship to work. And it's already going. It's already gone. And we're still trying to cling and clang and climb and stay up at the top or get back up to the next one, and we're denying the experience of the natural evolution or the natural progression of life, which offers evolution when we dip down here. Embracing that too. It's not that you have to be so excited and happy. Great. I am so bloody excited that I lost my job. I'm so bloody excited that I failed my test. I'm so bloody excited that my friends hate me. Of course we don't want this. But that doesn't mean you can't embrace it. You can say, this is what's happening. And the reality is, life isn't going to stay up here, and life isn't going to stay down here. It's going to continue to go through these cycles. So while I'm down here, can I embrace being down here? Doesn't mean that I'm not taking steps to come back up through that. But my state here is the embrace. My state here is saying, this sucks, but this is where I am. I'm here today. And that's okay. I'm willing to be in the muck. And I'm willing to also trust in the fact that it may be here for a while, or it may be going really quickly. But this too will pass. Just as the perfect day, or all of the red lights turning green as you arrive, that too will pass. The health that we have, the beauty that we have, will pass. The body that we have at 20 is going to pass. The perfect score, like when I was a senior in high school, I had like a 20-0 record, and I was really wanting a perfect season, and then I got cocky wrestling some guy, and he beat me. So I ended up going to the finals going to the state tournament with 2 losses. So I wasn't even expected to win, and I didn't have a perfect record. But it didn't matter. I was still there at state, still there at the finals, and I was face to face with one of the guys that I lost to, and I won. Great. Whether I won or lost doesn't matter. Whether I have the perfect record or not, I showed up and I went for it. Now at that time I would have been extremely upset if I lost. And it doesn't mean now that I wouldn't be upset if I lose something. If Veronica and our relationship doesn't work, would I be upset? Absolutely. And at the same time, could I embrace that this is what's happening? Trusting in life, trusting in me, that this too is part of the unfolding of this life, my life. I don't know if this made any sense or where I was exactly going with this, except inviting you to accept and embrace what is. Let go of that wheel of suffering. It's not to let go of the desire. The teaching of the East, interesting, cling, cling, cling. It's not the teaching of the East to let go of desire, but it's to let go of the attachment of the outcome of desire, is the Western way of moving with that teaching. You can have the desire, but as long as you're clinging to the outcome, I want it this way, it must be that way, you're locked. You're assured suffering. You're assured at some point you're not going to get that and you're going to be pissed. That's fine. If you get pissed, then be there. Embrace that. But the more that you can open and just trust, this is what is. So forgive me if this is in a different angle. I got a little cut off here. Battery went dead on the camera, but I wanted to tell a little story that kind of applies to life. This wise man is the wise man of the village, and he builds a temple, and many people come, and a man comes up to him and says, "It's so amazing, and what a blessing, and how amazing it is that you have such a popular temple, and you have such a large congregation." And the wise man said, "Maybe so, maybe not so." And the man was a little perplexed. The mayor of the town was really perplexed that he was thinking that this wasn't a great thing. And the next week, the wise man gives a talk, and it offends half the congregation, and they leave, and even burn down the temple because they were so irate. And that mayor of the town said, "How terrible this is that you lose half your congregation and the temple. They burn down the temple." And the wise man said, "Maybe so, maybe not so." And the mayor was, of course, really confused now because this was a really terrible event. And then a week later goes by, and the wise man gets news that the insurance that he had on the temple, actually was gave like a bonus insurance, so he was able to build a larger temple, a more plush temple with the benefits of the insurance funds. And the mayor, of course, as this news came out, was so ecstatic, and he goes, "Oh, this is such good news! It's an amazing event." And the wise man said, "Maybe so, maybe not so." And so while that was such good news, there were the whole congregation felt like they started getting in fights and arguments about how the temple should be and who should run it and who should have rights to certain things, and it started to create all this strife. And the mayor said, "What a terrible thing how this insurance opportunity is turning into such a debacle with all of these inner quarreling amongst the congregation." And the wise man said, "Maybe so, maybe not so." Of course, the mayor was again confused, and as the strife continued, the fighting, a fight took out, and the wise man's son stuck up for his father, and it ended up getting in such an altercation where the son's arm was broken. And the mayor came back to the wise man and said, how terrible it now this strife has now created a breaking of your son's arm. This is so terrible. And the wise man said, maybe so, maybe not so. And the mayor just really could not get this. But shortly after that, the military was coming around and gathering all of the young men who were fit for duty. And of course his son was not fit because he had a broken arm, so he was passed. And then the mayor came and said, how terrible it is for all of these boys to leave, but how lucky for you for your son to be able to stay. What a blessing it was for his arm to be broken. And the wise man, of course, said, maybe so, maybe not so. And of course the story in this Zen story just can continue and continue. Each event leads to the next event. It's confusing in the moment. It seems like something that's happening is so terrible or so great. But if you look back behind you, you notice all the things that have happened. Some of them seemingly great or not so great. And some of those seemingly great things turned out to not be so great later. And vice versa. Some of those terrible travesties ended up being some of your greatest gifts, some of the reasons why you are who you are today and how much more empowered you are in your life, or that seemingly terrible thing led to something amazing, a new beautiful relationship, or even a better job than you had. But it seemed so terrible when you were losing that other job, or that relationship that you were in was dissolving. But it led to something else. And the beauty of this maybe so, maybe not so is in the threads of that is, I'm here living life. And I'm trusting and believing and loving life as it is. I have no idea what's going to happen next. It seems like this might be great, but I have no idea. It seems like this might be terrible, but I have no idea. So it's, of course, I wouldn't choose for my son's arm to be broken. But it has a reason and a purpose. I just have no idea what it is. So I choose to trust in life. I choose to trust in what is. And see what happens. It doesn't mean that I don't get angry. It doesn't mean that I don't have a preference. But in those preferences, I keep asking myself, can I embrace what is with those preferences? And if I can't, then I need to really look at, is it worth having that preference? Because assuredly so, there's going to be a time where that preference is going to be challenged and tested. So a little off topic of what I intended to bring in today. You have no idea even what I was going to bring in, but I'll bring that in on the next video. So this is really about embracing what is, letting go, not of the desire, but the attachment to the outcome. Good luck. It's not an easy path, but it is possible. I've been working on this for many years, and I certainly can say it gets easier and easier if you keep returning to it and applying to it. So a little joggling of the camera, that's due to this all sitting on this beautiful couch, and I'm joggling with it a little bit. It's great to be back here and great to share with you, and many blessings to you, and I look forward to spending more time with you through the end of this year, since I'm around for a while. Many blessings. Namaste, namaste.